Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jesus Conde and today we're going to be working on page 69, which I decided to divide in two, but I'll tell you more about it in a second. This is episode 6 of Drawing Daily, so let's get started. Alright, so as you can see, these are the two panels, or the ones that I decided to have on this page from the webtoons. This page originally had 4 panels or 5, yeah, no, 4. So I decided to just break them into 2 pages. So because I cannot save it as page 69 and 70 because 70 already exists, I decided to split it on 69A and 69B, and I'm gonna tell you why. So these pages, turns out they were heavy on dialogues, and I wanted to have some space to resolve that. And there was a moment that was really important, you guys will see in a second. Here I'm sketching what the changes are going to be, especially on the clouds and the pose of the characters, also a little bit of perspective, especially on Alexandria up there against the moonlight. And then you have this couple of headshots of Alexandria and Denebra, and her moment is really important because she's gonna say something that's kind of long, and it's some sort of a poem, kind of, but it's something that you say when you know you really fucked up, and it's kind of like something that traders say, and I wanted this moment to be more important, and I felt like having the configuration that I had before where all 4 panels were in the same page, everything was gonna be like extremely crowded, especially with the dialogues. And yeah, I think I just decided to let's make this a 2-page so I can put more dialogue in. And some people I don't think are too fan of long dialogues, but I haven't get any complaints about the dialogues on my comic, to be honest. So the same drill, I usually just grab a 3D face of the 3D model that I modeled for the Denebra and all the other characters to keep consistency, because it was really hard for me to do it without it, and this makes stuff really easy, honestly. So here I'm just tracing the face and adding a little bit of wind on the hair and stuff like that. I'm also gonna try to clean the anatomy just a little, not too much, like it's not that bad, but yeah, it should be a little bit more clean. And also the way they're like grabbing her, sometimes it seems like they just not gonna be able to catch her like that by the way that they're grabbing her. This one though was kind of difficult to to figure out the face because I did it without any reference. And also, of course, as you see on the episode before, adding those water drops, I think is a nice change to the scene to make everything look more dramatic and more intense than it was before on the webtoons. So I think it's a good amount of update to call it a remaster of the of these panels. I can really see the difference, of course, but my opinion doesn't really count. I think it's the people that reads it eventually will notice all the changes that I'm doing, and that of course it looks better than before. So in this situation, remember that she is about to be executed, or at least executed in the way that the fairies do. It's gonna be a kind of a slow death. You get your wings ripped off by your own species. That is called expulsion, or expelled, I guess. And it's kind of like they just get your wings out, your wings ripped off, and you just free fall to the ground. Now, if you have read the story, the falling to the ground is one of the worst things for a fairy. like the concept of being standing on the ground, they don't really like it that much because it's really dangerous. There's a lot of creatures that are way bigger than them, so it's like they can be on trees, they can be on plants or whatever, but the ground is really dangerous for them. They don't really like to be walking. In fact, the most amount of walking that Denebra has done has been because of meeting Balthazar on the forest. So she has a different like perception of what being on the ground is in comparison with the other fairies, but that doesn't mean that she's not like she always has had her wings with her, so she's has never been afraid of being on the ground entirely. Like she can just fly whenever she wants. But in this case, she's gonna be expelled, and her wings are going to be ripped off, and she's not gonna be able to fly anywhere. So she's gonna be always on the ground. And on this kind of in this world, for a fairy being on the ground is almost like a death sentence. Like for sure you're gonna die. There's no way you can survive that. So that's the way they do it. That's just in case you were wondering what's gonna happen to her. So so I decided to break up this page in 2 pages that are really have really big panels, like 2 and 2, so I could develop the dialogues a little bit more, because I have thought of changes on the dialogue for this scene, and I think it's gonna be way more impactful, the things that they say and the things that they do. So I can already see how it's gonna be better, or at least that's my idea of it. And man, I think it's starting to look really cool, and I'm also happy that I'm slowly arriving to the end of doing this whole remaster of the comic, and finally have it in book version, or like printed version. I'm gonna try to have it on Kindle first and then printed. And yeah, I'm really wishing to see what the the reviews of the Kindle are, if it ever sells. I'm gonna be really happy just to know what people thinks of it, because I've gotten a lot of good reviews on the webtoons, but this is a different story. Like, I mean, not literally different story, but a different way of telling it. The main events are gonna stay the same, but it's gonna be more polished in terms of dialogue, not just fixing mistakes, but also like I already know a little bit more of a storytelling, so I can intensify some things, doing small changes on the dialogues and stuff like that, just by changing few words here and there, and make it everything a little bit more impactful, I guess. So I'm really eager to figure that out. And what else can I tell you? This is tricky because this page is so open, like there's a lot of empty space, and you still have to make it look like it's detailed. So one of the things that I did was to add drops of water, and that also gives some visual interest for the background, because right now it's way too empty. There's nothing there. Let me see. Well, doing outlines, that's always important, because when you see it from far away, all the lines kind of get lost in this emptiness. When you put some line weight or an outline on things, makes everything look a little bit more grounded, or more like established on the page. It doesn't look like just a drawing on the page anymore. It just looks like, more finished. and I think that helps sell the silhouettes of the characters more too. That's also the reason why I do it. Honestly, I don't know why this exact panel took so long to do. I mean, it has 4 characters, of course. That's one of the reasons. But I feel like it wasn't particularly hard, but somehow it just managed to take a lot of time to do. And here is me adding the drops of water everywhere, and they kind of like falling heavily, and they're big. So if some of these hit the fairies, they're gonna have you know, it's like just getting punched all the time. So it's kind of annoying for the fairies to have it been raining, and they are going to be doing that just to get Denebra out of the tribe. And I'm sorry that it looks a little bit chaotic. I'm trying to not move as much on it. I'm trying to be as relaxed as possible when I'm doing it. But when you're getting to that final push on the page of like what needs to be done, you're kind of like going all over the place, just drawing little things here and here, some little things here and there. So it's kind of difficult to keep a straight canvas for the recording. It's like constant motion all the time. And I don't know if you noticed, but Alexandria has the mother's staff, and that's interesting. When I did it on the webtoons was kind of a mistake, because I thought of it, but what actually happened was that I forgot how Alexandria weapon was. So for this remaster, I just decided that she was gonna have her mother's staff. And few people, well, of course, now that you are hearing it, I think few people did like notice that, but then they didn't comment any on it. It probably is because in the other pages I went back to the original staff. But you know, it's one of those things that is like a happy accident. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it definitely be mother's staff. So she has it. Like, what happened? What happened to mother? Do you know? So that's something that is gonna be interesting for the story now. And yeah, man. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to support this channel, please do by joining Patreon, or just giving me likes, thumbs up, and sharing the video, or just leave a comment. Thank you very much. This is Jesus Conde for Drawing Daily, and see you next time. Alright, bye guys.